welcome to this Volkswizard video blog. Today we're going to look at two of the most special GTIs of recent times, the Golf GTI Clubsport Edition 40 and the Golf GTI Clubsport S. Both were launched in 2016 to celebrate 40 years of the Golf GTI. The Clubsport S even went on to set the front-wheel drive lap record at the Nurburgring Nordscheife, taking that away from the Honda Civic Type R. And the press were full of it right the way from the second half of 2016 to the end of the year. The Edition 40, as a result, didn't really get the coverage it deserves, I felt, so I thought I'd put this video together and we can then explore the differences between the two cars, and you can decide if the Clubsport S is worthy of its legendary status and if the Edition 40 is actually a more attractive car for you. First, Edition 40. Okay guys, here we are behind the wheel of the Golf GTI Clubsport Edition 40. You can probably tell because there are some back seats there, but from my perspective it looks and feels very similar to the Golf GTI Clubsport S. I've got an Alcantara wheel. The only difference is really I've got an automatic gearbox, which I'm going to pop that into manual so I get more of a crossover between the manual gearbox of the Clubsport S and this car. Still feels mighty quick. In fact, it probably feels a little bit quicker because we've got paddles. Yeah, that's impressive. And again, the brakes, whilst they're not the same spec as the Clubsport S, you're not really going to feel the difference off the track or trying to break a record at the Nurburgring. Steering wheel with the Alcantara just feels beautiful like it does in the Clubsport S. Yeah, it's a nice package. I'd say there's a tiny bit less road noise, but it's by no means quiet. There's still probably about 50% of the road noise that comes through on the Clubsport S because of the lack of back seats coming through into this car. Modes are pretty important. On the Clubsport S, the individual mode, if you reset it, you get the ring mode, which doesn't say ring mode, it's just that the damper's going to comfort, everything else goes into race. On this, you've got Eco, which you don't get on the Clubsport S, Comfort, Normal, Sport and Individual. So you don't get race mode on the Edition 40, you just get Sport. So let's have a play with the modes then. Let's go into Sport. So in the Clubsport S, I know it's childish, but one of the features I really like is the fact that you can enjoy the exhaust popping and crackling. On the overrun or on upshifts it does a really loud bark. So we're in sport mode now, which is the equivalent of race. So yeah, there's a DSG part. No, it's pretty quiet. So yeah, none of the histrionics from the exhaust in this car, which is a real shame because they really give the Clubsport S character. Just potter through this 30-mile-an-hour zone and just tell you what we've got on the individual menu. We've got the dynamic chassis control in Comfort and we've got everything else in Sport. So this is basically what they call the ring mode on the Clubsport S, where if you reset individual, it doesn't reset everything to normal. It keeps it goes to Comfort for the suspension, but it puts everything else into race. And that's how I drive my Clubsport S because it's quite a compliant car and I like the noise it makes and everything like that. So this is now set up as close to how I have my car. Obviously we've got an auto box. Put that into manual. Okay, so that's third gear. It's quite a nice noise as well. I'm not sure how much of it's fake. There seems to be a lot more coming through the front of the car on this one. So you can feel through the chassis. It's so much torque. Yeah, so that's really nice. It's comfort, but it's not floaty. You just get a little bit more body movement, but you go over the bumps without the wheels being too affected by them, which means you can keep the power down for longer. So yeah, that feels pretty similar. Does it feel the same? I'm not sure. Try that again. So again, we're in individual, Comfort, suspension, everything is so second gear, third gear, fourth gear, and then down to third. It's lovely to keep your hand on the steering wheel and change gear, especially when it's such a cold get back on the gas. Just keep the power on now. That's into 5th. Brakes feel lovely, progressive. Bit of a funny camp there. That was 3rd. Stay in 3rd now. Just brakes gently. Turn right. Keep it in 3rd and back on the gas when you can. Yeah, it felt really impressive. Really impressive. I'm not sure I should say this, but I quite like the fact that I can drive it in DSG and keep my hand on the steering. Yeah, that's really interesting. So one of these with the Cup 2 tyres, bucket seats, yeah, would be quite an impressive car. More impressive than I gave it credit for. Let's move on to the Clubsport S. So here we are in the Golf GTI Clubsport S. This is one of the 150 UK cars. There were no options available on this car. The only thing you could do was delete the air conditioning if you were that way inclined. Also, even some buyers like me didn't get choice of colour. I was given a black car. I had no choice. I was considering white because it was an easier colour to live with, didn't show the chips or the marks. But I got black, and to be honest, I'm pretty pleased about that because it does look quite mean. The standard spec was interesting. You've got the Michelin Cup 2 tyres on the Pretoria wheels, which were identical to those on the Golf R. You didn't get black wheels, you got the sort of just off silver, light grey wheels. There were no back seats, you got that scaffold pole and the garden netting you can see there. And you got Recaro buckets as standard, which with heated seats was a really nice touch. You also got sat-nav as well, which again, if you try and go to Alton Park or Cadwell Park or some of those other circuits, they're pretty hard to find. So having sat-nav is pretty useful. You get the Alcantara wheel that the Edition 40 also gets. You have no choice but a manual gearbox as well, which was a bit controversial, and I think it was because the ring record car wanted to be as light as possible. You also got DCC, adaptive dampers, which are crucial because the team that set the record used DCC in comfort mode. And you know what? Contrary to what people say about cars being set up to do well on the ring, comfort mode dampers are absolutely perfect for the British roads. So basically the ring mode, which wasn't like a big sign on your dashboard saying ring, was a hidden menu inside the individual menu, which you accessed by selecting reset on individual. And that put everything in race apart from the dampers, which went into comfort mode. And it's a really nice package for the road because the car's got a lot of compliance, which on our rutted road network is ideal. If you're going to do a proper track like Silverstone, Castle Cook, you want to go into race mode on the dampers to make it a bit harder. But for our roads, somewhat ironically, ring mode is absolutely bloody perfect. Okay guys, here we are on the same road we tested the Edition 40, and we're just going to see what this exhaust does. So, second gear, not much of a part there, a big part there, into 4th, yep. And if you just tap the throttle, it'll just carry on popping and crackling forever. So yeah, why they didn't put this on the Clubsport Edition 40, I don't know. It's a bit of a shame, but there we go. I'm sure, unlike me, you have greater things to consider when you're buying a car, and the Edition 40 fills those requirements greater than the Clubsport S, with or without pops and crackles. So, let's see how it drives. So we're in ring mode right now. I am in second gear. I am going to give it a bit willy. So you feel the front of the car lift quite a lot there. It's dry today, so the road surface is good. In the wet, the VAQ diff does make the steering do a lot of that. Okay, so we're in third gear, and you feel the turning, it's just gorgeous. There's not a lot of tread on the Cup 2 tyres, so there's a little bit more precision. You don't feel the tread want to move around like you do on the Edition 40. Bit of a backfire there on the overrun, and again in 4th. in the other modes, really quiet. So let's just turn around and do that again. Hopefully we won't have a Euro car parts van in front of us. So let's go. Second gear. Weaving around a bit on full throttle because the road isn't perfectly smooth. Get to the corner. Third gear. Wow. This video up and come to a conclusion, and that's quite a simple one really. The Clubsport Edition 40 is a truly fantastic car and a very worthy anniversary GTI model. It does everything you could want. It can be a family car, it can be a track car, it can go on European trips and be perfectly refined, economical. You can get 5 people in it. It is amazing, and dynamically it's not that far behind the Clubsport S. But the Clubsport S is unbelievable. I've had this car now for a good few months, but I drove it through the winter. I've only just run it in. I've only really just started to explore it. And driving it back to back on that road, I have been truly shocked by how brilliant it is. I can't put a finger on why. I think it might be partly to do with the extra camber, negative camber on the front wheels, working with the Cup 2 tyres, because it just grips and goes, and it is just spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. I know it's legendary because of the ring record of this car, but really it should be legendary because of what it does on the road. It is just the most complete B-road tool you'll probably ever drive. This, I'm pretty sure, will keep up with anything on the kind of road we've just driven. It's amazing, and it's just a Golf. So I hope you've enjoyed this Volkswizard video blog, and subscribe if you have, give it a thumbs up if you have, and hopefully see you next time. Cheers!